Hey guys, thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Mr. Taylor, and today we're going to talk about fractions, and some more fractions. We want to really talk about how do we multiply fractions, add fractions, or divide fractions. So we're going to start right here in the middle. Let's break down some multiplying fractions. You can see there's this little poem written below it. We're going to break that down into more detail. Multiplying fractions, it's no problem. Top times top and bottom times bottom. If we can just remember this, we'll have no problems multiplying fractions. Let's try one. 3 over 7 times 4 over 11. Multiply these fractions. Okay, that's no problem. I'm going to do top times top. 3 times 4 is 12. And bottom times bottom. 7 times 11 is 77. So multiplying these two fractions, I got a 12 over 77. That's it. Great job. So let's talk about adding fractions. Remember, when we add fractions, we want to think common denominator. So if I had the fraction 2 over 3 plus 5 over 8, the first way I'm going to show you guys is what we talked about, common denominator. This is what your algebra teacher would have taught you. A common denominator of a 2 over 3 and a 5 over an 8. Now remember, the denominator is the bottom number. To me, the easiest way to find a common denominator is to use both numbers. So this 2 over 3 needs to be multiplied by an 8. But I can't just multiply it by an 8. I have to multiply the top by an 8 as well, because the fraction 8 over 8 is 1, and multiplying something by 1 doesn't change its value. The second fraction, 5 over 8, needs to be multiplied by a 3 over a 3. Notice now the denominators are exactly the same. They both say 8 times 3. So when I multiply these fractions, remember, top times top, bottom times bottom. I get a 16 over a 24 plus a 15 over a 24. Now that my denominators are the same, I can add the tops. 16 plus 15 is 31. I leave my bottom alone. Don't change the denominator. So we get a 31 over 24. That's how we learned how to do it in our algebra class. I want to show you another way as well, though. It's kind of like a trick. I call it the bow tie method. It almost looks like you're trying to tie a bow tie. Same fraction, 2 over 3 plus 5 over 8. But the first thing I'm going to do this time, I am going to multiply the diagonals. So 2 times 8 gives me a 16. I'm going to write that in the very, very top of my fraction. I'm adding, so we're going to put a plus sign between these, and then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to multiply the other diagonal. 3 times 5 is a 15. So my numerator is a 16 plus a 15. To finish tying my bow tie, I'm going to have to multiply the two bottom numbers together. The 3 times the 8 is a 24. So I really see a 16 plus a 15 all over a 24, which when I combine my top gives me a 31 over 24. Same thing we got on the last problem. I just think sometimes this is a little bit easier. Now this only works when we have two fractions, but hey, that's usually what you're going to see on the TSI. Let's get it done. So the last thing we want to talk about is dividing fractions. What I want you to think about when we divide fractions, let's do this little saying. Dividing fractions, give it a try, flip the second, and multiply. So here we see an example, 2 over 3 divided by 5 over the 7. Now y'all, that's the same way as writing it side by side, 2 over 3 divided by 5 over 7. You may see it either way, so you need to make sure you're familiar with both forms. Biggest thing is which one of these is considered the second fraction. In both cases, the 5 over 7 is the second fraction. The fraction at the farthest bottom or the fraction at the furthest right. Those are considered your second fractions. So let's divide these fractions. Let's give it a try. So I'm going to start with my 2 over 3. Then I'm going to flip the second. So it's now a 7 over a 5, not a 5 over a 7. And instead of dividing now, we're going to multiply. I hope we remember multiplying fractions, it's no problem. Top times top, bottom times bottom. So when we multiply across the top, 2 over 7 is 14, 3 times 5 is 15, and we get 14 over 15. And there you go. You just divided fractions. So that's all we want to talk about today. Adding fractions, multiplying fractions, dividing fractions. Okay, here's all the little tools, help you remember. Okay, I hope you have a great day. Thank you guys so much for joining me, and we'll see you next time for our next video.